Let's give our praises to the Most High, whose true name in the ancient Hebrew is Yahweh, in the name of his only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai, and the Holy Spirit, which is the Ruach Kodash. Double honors to the elders of GMS, who taught us this truth by the Holy Spirit. Honors to the brothers risking their life and freedom to push the gospel. Peace and blessings to the elect, who would be the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans who make up the lost 12 tribes of Israel. According to scripture and prophecy, the elect will be 1/3 of the Israelites who in the last days will return back to Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, to receive salvation, while the 2/3 of Israel who don't turn back to the Most High be destroyed with America, and that's according to prophecy. We back with another lesson through the mercy of Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai. This lesson is going to be titled Tricolon, 3 words to express one idea in Revelation 5 and 9. Again, Tricolon, 3 words to express one idea in Revelation 5 and 9. So we're going to discuss what a tricolon is. And pretty much it's a figure of speech in which the writer uses 3 different words to talk about the same idea. Like far as the devil, you may say the devil, Satan, and the serpent. Or you may say the wicked, the workers of iniquity, and the evildoers. Different words talking about the exact same thing. Or you may say the righteous, the saints, the just. Again, that's a tricolon, a figure of speech. 3 different words to express the same idea, and it's all throughout the scriptures. And really, the scriptures was written in such a way to confuse most people, so that they don't come into the fullness of the understanding. And the use of tricolons and other figures of speech is all throughout the scriptures to confuse the ones the Lord ain't dealing with. So we're going to show an example again of a tricolon in Revelation 5 and 9, but let's read a little more about this. It says, in a realm of rhetoric, a tricolon is a mighty tool that adds punch and persuasion to words. And what's persuasion? You believing, you understanding, because that's what it's all about. And we're going to show that a tricolon, which that word tri means 3. 3 goes into understanding. As a matter of fact, we're going to show that real quick in John 21:15. So when they had dined, Yahweh Shai said to Simon Peter, Simon, son of Jonah, lovest thou me more than these? He said, yeah, unto him, yeah, Lord, thou knowest that I love thee. He saith unto him, feed my lambs. He saith to him again the second time, Simon, son of Jonah, lovest thou me? He said unto him, yeah, Lord, thou knowest that I love thee. He saith unto him, feed my sheep. He said unto him the third time, Simon, son of Jonah, lovest thou me? Peter was grieved because he had said unto him the third time, lovest thou me? And he said unto him, Lord, thou knowest all things, and thou knowest that I love thee. Yahweh Shai said unto him, feed my sheep. So the point is here that dealing with numerology, the number 3 goes into understanding, in which the Lord repeated himself 3 times. If you love me, feed my sheep. If you love me, feed my lambs. So the number 3 goes into understanding. And the tricolon, in which 3 different words is used to express idea, what it say? It adds persuasion. So it's to enforce the understanding. It is a writing technique that harnesses the power of 3, creating a rhythm that's hard to forget. That's the understanding, not forgetting. We'll explore how this linguistic triplet can make speeches more memorable. That word memorable goes into memory or into the understanding, and the writing more compelling. So the Lord may speak in triplets when expressing a single idea. And as you continue to read, it says, what is a tricolon? It is a technique that involves presenting three parallel clauses or phrases, so three words, to create a memorable impact, to what? To enforce your memory, to create that understanding. As we went into three, goes into understanding or remembrance, because the Lord didn't want, Simon to forget to feed the sheep if he really loves the Lord. The Lord wanted him to understand his duty if he loves the Lord. The effectiveness of a tricolon stems from rule of three, a principle suggesting that groups of three are inherently more satisfying and effective in engaging an audience. We see this pattern resonate across speeches, films, and literature. And what was the first piece of work to make use of a tricolon? It would be the Holy Bible. So this is a figure of speech created by the Lord. Whoever came up with the idea and named it got it from the scriptures. Because the structure is easy for our audience to follow and remember, because three goes into understanding or remembrance. So we're going to come down here. Tricolons not only lend elegance and rhythm to communication, but also improve the retention of our message. Retention goes into remembering something, which the word three goes into understanding and memory, making it all more persuasive and memorable. But that's another way of saying memory. Persuasion can go into your belief or your understanding. So a little more on this word tricolon as we try to explain it. Tricolon's effectiveness lies in its ability to emphasize or reinforce a particular idea or message by repeating it three times in a row. And that's what the Lord did here to the left to Simon. He repeated himself three times. If you love me, feed my sheep. If you love me, feed my lambs. The device is often used to create a sense of urgency or importance. So yeah, three goes into creating a sense of urgency and importance, like what the Lord is doing here, showing him the importance of feeding the sheep. So now we're going to show an example of the Lord using a tricolon in the scriptures, because when people see these figures of speech, these tricolons, they think the Lord is talking about three different things. Really, the Lord is talking about the same thing in three different ways. So now we're going to hit the book of Revelation 5 and 9. And they sung a new song, saying, Thou art worthy to take the book and to open the seals thereof, for thou wast slain and hast redeemed us to God by thy blood out of every kindred, tongue, people, and nation. And Christians love to run to this to show that all people, all nations was redeemed by the blood of Yahweh Shah. But if you pay attention to the wording, that's not true. Because here it says, has redeemed us. Us is not everybody. This is a personal pronoun. So us is a specific group of people. This us would be the Israelites. It has redeemed us to God by thy blood. It says, it didn't say every kindred, people, and nation. It said redeem us out of every kindred, people, and nation. Why? Because Deuteronomy 28:64. Israel would be scattered to the four corners of the earth. Israel will be scattered among all nations. And that we will be redeemed out of these nations, out from among these people by the blood of Yahweh Shai. So again, and has redeemed us to the Most High by thy blood out of every kindred, out of every tongue, out of every people, out of every nation. And this is the tricolon right here. When it says kindred, people, And nation, Christians think this is talking about all people, but really the Lord is talking about one group of people in three different ways. So when we look in the Greek and go into each of these words, kindred, people, and nation, this is the tricolon. In these three cases, the Lord is talking about the Israelites and no other group of people. Now we're going to show that. So as we come over here to the right, first one we're going to look at is this word for kindred. This is G5443. In this word for kindred, it says a tribe. It says in the New Testament, all persons descending from one of the 12 sons of the patriarch Jacob, a nation, a people. So this word kindred, it doesn't mean all people or all nations. It literally means everybody that descends from the 12 tribes of Jacob or the 12 tribes of Israel. So again, and has redeemed us to the Most High by thy blood out of every kindred. So everybody who descends from the 12 sons of Jacob, this will be the Israelites. That's who it is talking about. So the word kindred, by definition, again, is a nation of people who descends from the patriarch Jacob. That's where we're going to look at is going to be people. Because people see that word people and thinks it means all people. Words in the English versus in the Greek often had multiple and different meanings. So let's look at this word people. This is G2992. Yeah, this is going to get good. 1 second. So here it says a people, people group, a tribe, a nation, all those who are of the same stock, meaning they have a common ancestor. They share the same blood, they come from the same bloodline. So a people, a group of people of the same stock. The nation of Israel, the Israelites. Now, what further proves it is when we come to the Strong's info. Check this out for this word people. A primary word of people in general, thus differing from G1218. We are at G, let me see, we are at G2992, which this word here is a people. But G2992, it differs from the word G1218. So let's see how this word for people differs from this one. This is G1218. And what it say? The people, the mass of people assembled in a public place. The people, the mass of people. So G1218 literally means the masses of the people, meaning it could be anybody, it could be everybody. But this word for people in Revelation 5 and 9, that we would be redeemed out of every people, is different from the way that is used in G1218, which means anybody, everybody. But again, that's why this word for people, Revelation 5 and 9, it says a people differing from G1218, which denotes one's own people. Because it differs from G1218, which means anybody, everybody, is proven that this use of the word people, it means one's own people. That's why going back up to the Strong's definition, excuse me, here it says a people, a nation. Not all nations, but one's own people. not anybody, not everybody. Now, continuing on, as we get this word nation, that's the third one, and that would be the third one in this tricolon. So we're going to get this word nation. And keep in mind, the word nation is ethnos. Remember that word ethnos. This is G 1484. And G 1484, for this word nation, it says a multitude of individuals of the same nature or genus, the human family, a tribe, a nation, a people group. So this nation would be the multitude of individuals from the family of Israel. So that's who's going to be redeemed. That's who's going to be saved. And now we're going to show this um, in the book of Amos, chapter 3, and verse 1. We're going to show an example there. This is the whole family of Israel. Hear this word that the Lord has spoken against you, O children of Israel, against the whole family which I brought up from the land of Egypt. See that? The whole family which I have brought up from the land of Egypt. That's why it says the word nation. It says a multitude of individuals of the same nature or genus, human family, nation, people. You only have I known of all families of the earth. Therefore, I will punish you for your iniquities. So, yeah. And then you see it says the whole family, which when we get Amos 3 and 1 in the NLT, it says, against the entire family I rescue from Egypt, people of Israel and Judah, against the entire family. So simply put, when you come to the book of Revelation 11 and 9, when it says redeemed out of every kindred, that would be anybody who descends from the 12 sons of Jacob, the 12 tribes of Israel, and tongue and people, a people with the same stock, different from the masses of people. In the sense, this word people don't mean anybody and everybody and out of every nation. Again, being a whole family, the entire family of Israel. And we're going to prove with one precept, additional precept, that Revelation 5 and 9, we show by definition that the words are talking about the Israelites. The whole gospel, the whole message is for the salvation of the Israelites. That's why when we come to the book of Romans, chapter 11, verse 25, it say this, for I would not, brethren, that ye should be ignorant of this mystery, lest ye should be wise in your own conceits, that blindness in part is happened to Israel, until the fullness of the Gentiles be come in. The fullness of the Gentiles, that's not talking about the heathen nations. So let's look up this word fullness. Fullness, completeness. So unto the completeness of the Gentiles be come in. This says the fullness of the Gentiles. It says, and so all Israel shall be saved. Because the Gentiles here will be the Israelites who were scattered. They discontinue from their heritage. They discontinue from the law, statutes, and commandments. They worship false gods and pagan idols. But that's why it says, until the fullness of the Gentiles be come in, and so all Israel shall be saved. So the fullness or the completeness of the Gentiles, the Israelites who are scattered, living like foreigners, them coming into the gospel, will fulfill all of Israel being saved. Because you had a portion of Israel who live like the other nations. That's why Paul's message was to the uncircumcised, the Gentiles who would be the Israelites who were scattered. And so all Israel shall be saved, as it is written, there shall come out of Zion the deliverer, thou shalt turn away ungodliness from Jacob. So that's what it's all about. That's the kindred. Do you remember that word kindred? If you rewind it, it says anyone who descends from the 12 sons of Jacob. But let's look at this word Gentile when it says the fullness of the Gentiles. Bear with me one sec. Okay, let's check out this word. That word is going to be ethnos, which, if we remember that word ethnos, that word ethnos was nation, in Revelation 5 and 9, that we would be redeemed out of every people, nation, and kindred. And this word ethnos literally means a multitude of individuals of the same genus or same family. Now, Romans 11 and 25. Let's get that word Gentiles. We see ethnos, G1484. And what it say? Multitude of individuals of the same nature. The human family, a tribe, a nation, a people, a group. So the fullness of the Gentiles is a specific group of people. It's a specific family. That's why going back to Amos 3 and 1, it says, against the whole family, which I brought up from the land of Egypt. So the fullness of the Gentiles coming in is the whole family of Israel, so that all of Israel will be saved, as it is written. And that's why, again, Amos 3 and 1 in the NLT. O people of Israel and Judah, against the entire family I rescued from Egypt. The Gentiles coming in, the Israelites who are scattered and live like Gentiles coming in, is so that all of Israel, the entire family of Israel that the Lord rescued from Egypt, may be saved. And that's why, again, as we close out and go back to the book of Revelation, 5 and 9, they sung a new song, saying, thou art worthy to take the book and to open the seals thereof, for thou wast slain and hast redeemed us, a specific group of people, to God by thy blood out of every kindred. We went into this word kindred. Let's get it one more time. This word kindred, G5443. This is the Tricolon. And this word for kindred is a nation, a people, all persons descending from one of the 12 sons of the patriarch Jacob. So this will be the 12 tribes of Israel, this word kindred. So we'll be redeemed out of every kindred, out of every people. Now let's get that word people. That's G2992. This use for the word people literally means a people group, a nation, all those who are of the same stock. And then when we get the Strong's definition, it says a people differing from G1218, which makes it different from G1218 is that this use of the word people, the massive people in a public place. So G1218, this use of the word people is anybody, everybody. The use of the word people in Revelation 5 and 9 doesn't mean anybody and everybody. which denotes or means that it's one's own populace, one's own people. So back here, a people, a group, a nation, all who are of the same stock. And that word nation, that will be redeemed out of every nation, that word nation, by definition, means one nation of people. And even here, it says a race, a tribe. But when you get this here, multitude of individuals of the same nature, genus, the human family, a tribe, a nation. So this is a tricolon in Revelation 5 and 9. The Lord used three different words to talk about one group of people, being the Israelites. And us being redeemed out of every kindred, tongue, nation, of people is to fulfill Romans 11:25 to 26, that the foreigners of the Gentiles, the Israelites who are scattered, will come into the gospel, and eventually all Israel will be saved. So, Lord willing, those formative edifying. Till next time, Shalom.